Hello, welcome along, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome back, and here we are now with part 6, and this could be the final part, we'll see, of the M109A7 Paladin from Ryfield Model, and this was kindly sent to me all the way from the USA by the lovely John Alec, and in the description down below there is a link to his channel. Go give him a like, watch his videos, give him a subscribe. He's a great modeller and a lovely guy as well. So, and he always starts his videos with, hey. So, when I left you in part 5, we glued these two major parts here together. Off camera, I've done this bit here because I wanted to do it under a magnifier, and I've also added the photo etch here. The rest of the parts are off the sprue, cleaned up, ready to go on, so we'll do a bit of assembly on camera because I know a lot of you like to see that sort of stuff. So here's this is the first step, and you can see we've got this little piece of PE on here, which is all folded up. We've got the little handles on here. It actually says in the instructions here C30. There is no C30. You can see here is the C sprue. You've got 29 and then 31. There is no 30. So, unless it's something I've missed. No, there is no 30. So, I should imagine these two here are 30, but they're the same. You can see here, we have all those parts there are the same. So, there we go. And also up here it calls for C19, it's actually C29. C19 is this part here, as you can see. So yeah, the instructions are a bit of a mess. So that's all glued together and ready to go. I've also folded up and added the pieces of photo etch to the top here, as you can see. So these two here are Y63, and then we've got these other 6 here are Y57. So they're all glued on with the VMS for PE, so they're never going to come off. They're wonderful. Right, so I also just want to get in with the tweezers and just make sure they're all nice and square so we can pull them about. This is the beauty of the VMS for PE, it's incredibly strong. It's fantastic glue. You can get it from Brooks Models, as I always say, brooksmodels.com, and if you use the code NMB10, if you're spending £15 to £50, use code NMB10, you get 10% off your order. And if you're spending more than £50, use NMB20 and you'll get 20% off your order. So, and he's also got kits as well. And he's got some very fire ships coming in. So bear that in mind. If you're looking for a very fire ship, you can save a lot of money. So, as I said, we've got all these parts off the sprue, so we're going to do some assembly. So we'll get our extra thin at the ready. So there's this part here, this is E47, and you can see it's going to have a recess here. It's going to sit in there, like so. So the gussets are on the back. So that's just going to sit there like that. And then we're going to, I'm not quite exactly sure what this is. I'm just going to touch it with the extra thin. That will capillary around, there we go. So that's that glued on nice and solid. And then we have here, we have E74, E60 and E43. So I don't know why, but that is keyed so it only goes on one way. So that's going to sit over that D-shaped pin there. So put a drop of cement in there. Okay. I don't quite know why it's keyed because everything's symmetrical. I mean, that's not keyed to fit on there, so that can go either way. So that's going to sit on there like that. It's a very good fit. It won't even go on an angle because it's such a good fit. Tiny, tiny parts with big stubby fingers. That is a snug fit in there. It's almost like a snap fit. There we go. We can square that up on the bottom so it's nice and square. I'm just going to add a drop of cement into there so it can capillary around. Not that it needs it. And then we've got 4 little indentations here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that is going to sit in those 4 indentations there. There we go. So that's it like that. Then we've got this D40 going on the side. So here we've got D40s going on both sides. So that is going to go, that's going that way round. So you've got a little, there's a little tiny cutout in there, and you can see that faces up. So that's going to go on there like that, I'm guessing. Yep. So we'll just put a couple of drops of cement in there. Okay, and then the same on the other side, another D40 here. So that one's going in like that. And then, that's like that. Then we have these pieces going on the top, so make sure we get the right sides. We get B32, which is the square one. Now this is weird, it's got some little cutouts, little tabs on it. I don't know if I can show you. It's got some little tiny tabs on it. You can see on this side it's bigger than on that side. And it kind of looks like it's going to fit in that way round. But I don't quite know what that other tab on the other side's doing, because it's just sat in mid-air. I dry fitted it and it just seems to sit in mid-air and do nothing. So that'll pop across like that, so that little tab locates. It's obviously some sort of antenna base, isn't it? So I'm just going to square that up. There we go. And then on the other side it's C19. So C19 is here. Again, we've got the two little tabs. You can see one is bigger than the other. It's very strange. So that's going to sit in there like so. Again, that little tab should line up with the spore cutout. There we go, it's another antenna base, I'm guessing. And then we've got these hinges going around the outside. So if you remember in part 5 I said I'm going to drill these out. I'm going to glue them on here first. So I'm going to put a drop of cement there, a drop of cement there. And then we've got some little pins on the back, so they will line up with the holes. There we go, turn that one around. Get the pins to line up, come on, there we go. Get them nice and square. And I'll do the same again on the other side. Drop of cement there, drop of cement there. We'll turn that around and plonk it on there. So, turn that one around, plonk it on there. I'm waiting for the doorbell to ring. I'm expecting a parcel all the way from Japan. And it'll be a kit that you've already seen reviewed, if it ever arrives, all the way from Japan. So, yeah, hopefully the doorbell will ring any minute. And then we've got to put this unit here on top. Maybe I should fit this rope first. We've got this cable, this wire rope, which is cleaned up, and that's going to go, oh okay, so it's going to hook underneath those there. Oh, okay, so it goes all around this photo etch. So it's going to go underneath there, into there, like so. Around there, and then we're going to pull it across. Wow. It needs to go under there. Go on, underneath there. Right, so it's gone under there, and then I'm going to pull it across so it goes over that one, and then those two pins. There are pins on the bottom and they will glue into there. That is absolutely incredible how beautifully that fits. That is unbelievably nice. How nice is that? That is awesome. Fair play, Ryfield, you've done a great job with this kit. It's awesome. Right, and then this unit here is going to glue on. Now we've got 2 holes here. I have dry fitted this already, so I know how it goes. Soak some of that glue up there. So that is going to go, so you've got these 2 pins on here, and there's 2 legs, so it doesn't actually go down, it actually sits away from the surface like that. And then there's a leg here. That other leg's got broken off by the look of it. So there we go, so it's just sat on 3 legs. So that's that assembly finished, and that's ready to glue onto the back of the turret. Now the final part that we missed from this step here is this little antenna mount here. So here we've got another C19. So now we do have the large and the small tabs being put into use. So that's just going to go into there like so. And then this is going to drop. We use the tweezers. This is going to drop onto the side of our turret there into those 2 slots. And then drop of cement, drop of cement. And there we go. So that's that done. And now this, what I've done here, you've got these 2 little pins on here. There's 2 tiny little pins, and the holes in the turret I found weren't big enough, so I just drilled them out like 0.7 or something. And that's made it fit a lot nicer. So you might want to remember that with yours. So we'll pick this up. Everything's so fragile and flimsy. We'll drop that on there. And as you can see, it stays there on its own now. So what I'm going to do is put my finger. See, this is the trouble. Everything is so covered in photo etch. I'm worried about damaging stuff. I'm just going to put some cement down here. Get it actually cemented on. Plenty of cement in there. And that will go down. And we can also put a drop in the ends there and let it capillary in. Just put a drop in there and let it capillary in. That'll do us. And that'll hold that on. So now we've got a huge looking turret now. So when we put that on the hull, as you can see, we're really starting to look like a Paladin now with the huge overhang at the back. So there we are. Right, so that's all of that done. So now we're going to move on to the stowage baskets. Okay, and we're back. So as I said in the last little segment, that was like 2 days ago for me, we're going to get on with these storage bins. So the first thing I did, I looked at these parts here. We've got these Y7 and these little brass parts. They need to be bent. Note that on this one the legs go up, and then this one's the other hand and the legs go up. So make sure you use the right part numbers. They are correctly numbered on the fret. And what I've done here, I've soldered them. So they're all soldered together for added strength. So now it comes to fitting this grill. And what I did, I noticed these parts. We've got B60, we've got B67, we've got C41 and F11 make up the box. Oh, and B65, but they've all got ejector pin marks on them. You can see here, there's ejector pin marks there, and then on these frames here, and then around here as well, you can see. So they need to be filled. There's also ejector pin marks on these bases here, which are on the inside, but we can just sand those out. I've sanded these out, so hopefully they'll disappear under a coat of paint. It's also worth noting that on the top here we have like these these tie downs, and because of the way they're molded like that. There has to be a parting line, so you've got like a parting line that comes off the side. So make sure you scrape that off, get in your magnifier, have a look. Otherwise that's going to stick out like a sore thumb as soon as you put a wash on it, especially if you're doing it in the desert sand colour, the tan colour, whatever. So this photo etch mesh is going to go on here. Now unfortunately the way this is designed, the mesh is on the outside, so we need to make sure that the Dottie is licking my toes at the moment. We need to make sure that we get it neatly glued on. So what I'm going to do is take a clothes peg like so, okay, and another one here. Just clamp that in the middle there like that. All right, and then I've got my VMS XT thin, which is absolutely brilliant. You get this from Brooks Models. I'm going to put a drop on there. Never put the lid straight back on the XT thin because the lid will weld itself on. And then I'm going to dip my knife blade. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to dip my knife blade in, okay, and then touch there. Again, I'm going to touch there. Okay, and then again over here, just going to touch in there. I'll put a tiny drop in there as well. You can see it sort of flowing around, and then we can grab a cotton bud. That come from a bit of sellotape. Grab a cotton bud, just roll the cotton bud over the surface just to remove any excess that's on there, and then we'll leave that to dry. Okay, it won't take long. And then we can take the pegs off and go around the rest. I use the knife blade so that I can get a decent amount. If you use a glue looper like I've got here, you get nothing on there. There's just literally nothing on there. So and just give your knife blade a wipe off to stop it building up on there. And there we go. So that's how we'll do all of those. Now these parts here, we'll put that to one side a second. This part here, we're talking about F11 now. So where's my, I've literally just made the Galeri starter set review with the airbrush and the compressor. So literally just made that while that super glue was drying in the ejector pin marks. Okay, so we've got that one there. So I think what we'll do is get rid of those little nuggets there, and then we'll get our knife and scrape. This knife, that knife is as blunt as anything. It's had it. Dottie's got one of her chews, so if you can hear some clattering about, that's what that is. Let's just scrape the excess off of that, and I'm going to get my little here we go. This is the stick I want. There we go. And there we are. So that's that one gone. And then we'll get two parts C40, wherever they may be. C40, there we are, there. Then we can get on the sprue gate with our god hands and remove that really nice and tidily. God hand nippers are really good if you could use them properly, and that's not a comment on your ability. It's if you can actually physically get in there to use them properly, because they're designed, as you'll know in other videos you've seen I've done. So we've got these boxes here. So we've got C40. They've got a tiny little notch on them there, and it looks like that notch goes down. So that's going to go that way. Grab a drop of extra thin. Just like so. I'm going to put a tiny drop on the sides. And then again that little tiny notch goes down. Tiny drop in the sides. And there we are. Now we've also got some of these tie downs. So again, if you look, you can see there's a mould seam along there. So I'm going to get under my magnifier and scrape that away. I don't know if you can see it, but there is a mould seam there where these tie downs are. There's loops. So we're going to get rid of that mould seam. Otherwise, as I say, that'll stick out like a sore thumb. Right, back in a sec. Okay, so what I've done, I've gone on and sanded out these ejector pin marks and glued on the bits of photo etch, so you can see the panels there, all done. So then I would say, if anybody's watching this who's a tool designer, why on earth did you put an ejector pin mark in the middle there? Why couldn't you put it on the side so that it's easier to sand out? It's an absolute swine to get rid of that one in there. Anyway, there we go. So, I mean, they could have put a tab on the inside, couldn't they, and had the ejector pin, so you know, a tab so you cut it out. I don't know why they had to put it in there. It's annoying. So anyway, so we've got that done, we've got all our sub-assemblies ready to make up our box. Now we've got these straps cut off here, but I'm not sure if I want to use them. They look a bit fake, don't they? If the stowage bins were empty, why would they do the straps up? They'd just be hanging inside, wouldn't they? So I don't really know. I might not put them on yet. So we've got this one here. Well, we'll start with this one here. Okay, so this one here is going onto that floor part there. Okay, and the floor parts, I've got that upside down, so that's going that way around, like that. Doesn't seem to want to go in the groove. There we go. So maybe it's a little bit thick, even though I've sanded those ejector pin marks out. It's a bit strange. It won't physically fit. Will it fit the wrong way around? No. Believe it or not, that noise is, again, that is Dottie with her chew. So I'm going to put a drop of cement in here. Just to try and help it go together. There we go. My tweezers, give it a squeeze. There we are. Right, and then this back panel, or this front panel, can go on. So that's going to go that way. So there's two little tabs on the side of there. So that can go that way like that. And then this rear plate again has got these two little tabs. Dottie is licking my toes in between biting her chew. This is awkward, to say the least. This is very awkward. more awkward because the camera's on. Obviously, if you're building yours without a camera, it'll go together really easily. Okay, and then that's... Let's get the quick setting on here, I think. Drop a quick setting in the bottom there. Dear, 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 this is awful. Get some cement in there. Now that photo etch strip was supposed to be glued on, but I didn't glue it on yet on purpose because I wanted to be able to get to this seam. There we go, and then the other end will just plonk on there like that. Just like so. So that is our box built up, one of many. We've got another one to go yet. A couple of drops of quick setting in there. I could get some bloody quick setting on the brush, that is. One in there, one in there. There we go. Just hold that for a minute, let that dry. Just going to nudge that one in there so it's flush. And there we go, that's that box built up. So I'll wait for that to dry and then we can fit that photo etch strip on after. Back in a sec. Here we are, done. Now these here, again, poor instructions. They're not telling you what angle to bend them to, it just shows that there's a bend there. So this is the correct one. So along the side here you've got 4 little pins and they're going to go into those 4 tiny little holes in the photo etch, and then the photo etch will go on there, as you can see, and those pins will line up with those holes beautifully. And then those brackets that you've glued on there, they've got to form. You can see here we have basically, I don't know if you can make that out, but if I grab something to point with, basically you can see that here is a right angle. Okay, so between that triangular bracket and there, it needs to be a right angle. On the back of here there's 2 moulded on pins, but they don't line up properly on mine with the brackets, so I sanded them off. Could be something I've done wrong or whatever, I don't know. But anyway. So that's going together now. Get off, Totty. She's sniffing. I've got shorts on. She's sniffing my legs and tickling me with her nose. Get off. So there we go. Right. So that's that. So that's all cool. They're just like little deflectors or something. So there's no need really to solder them. I just did because I like to solder because I enjoy it. Yeah, I'm sick like that. As I say, I'm not going to bother putting those straps on because I don't think they're real. I don't think they look real. You know, if there was nothing in the stowage baskets, then I think surely these straps would just be hanging down inside. You'd have to cut them off at the buckle, so you'd sort of have that one hanging down inside. You know, because these loops here where they go through, they would be like wrapped around them. So I don't know. Just seems a bit daft. Why would you have that done up? It doesn't even fit actually, it doesn't reach. Oh yeah, it does just. So there we go. I don't know why you would have that like that. I even nailed them so I could have them sagging as well. So I don't know, we shall see. I'll leave them off for now. I'll put them in my little pot of parts. So we can put them in there. And what I need to do now is go on and build this other bin for the other side, because I want them to dry, and then I'm going to go around and deal with the seams because I don't want to see those seams in there. So I'll get that done and then I'll come back. That's probably going to be 24 hours for me, and probably like that for you. Okay, so the baskets are built, and as you can see I've got super glue in there as a filler, so we'll leave those for now. I've also put together, this is like a little shield, goes on the side of the turret over these fuel cans, so I'm not exactly sure what that is. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments. So I've built that up as well, and that's basically going to fit on the side of the turret like that. Okay, so that's going to go on there. I may actually leave that off and fit it afterwards so I can make sure I get paint in behind it and everything. So now going back through the instructions, going back here, we've got the gun. I need to build up this plate here as well, don't I? Even though I'm not ready for it yet, I need to build it up for painting. So we've got the gun, and I've chosen to use the modified fancy gun. So here we're going to add the base. So the base is going to go on like that, and then this pin is going to go in the middle. Now I'm not sure, no it's not. I wondered if it was going to be a nice tight fit in there, but it's not. So what I'll do is use the quick setting, and then if I do get anything oozing out, it will sort itself out. Okay, and then we'll push that pin in, nice and secure. I think there is a drop of cement on there, but the beauty of using the quick setting is what you will find, it actually it will start to glue, and then all of a sudden you can see here it's quite gooey where it's got some cement on it. Okay, and then all of a sudden, because it's quick setting, it just dries out and it lets go. So I'm going to keep turning this around. What's obviously happened is as I've pushed the pin in, it's pushed some of the cement out. It's not a problem. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if the glue doesn't, the gun doesn't move, to be honest. It's not like I want to play with it, but it would be handy to have it moving for painting. There we go. It's starting to ease up now. So we'll put that down. So we need to drill the holes in the turret. Now if you remember, we go back in the instructions, go way back when we started working on the turret, it tells you to drill these holes, but there's an arrow there. So make sure you only drill the ones you want. So the ones we want are the forward two holes. That's where the standard machine gun goes, and this is where this fancy one goes. So what I'm going to do is grab a pointed tool. We'll turn the turret over. Okay, and then I can take this pointed tool and I can push it down in there and push it down in there, and hopefully we will see there are a couple of very slight white marks there, but I want to make something a bit more positive. So there's one there and there's one there, and now you can see we've got two positive white marks, and I've just broken some PE out of there, so I'm going to put that over there for safekeeping so we don't lose it. This is the trouble with doing all this detail work first. So now, with the turret down on its base, I can come along with my pointy tool and then pick up where I made those indentations, just like so. And then I can use these horrible little things, these horrible drills, which I don't like at all, and just make some holes. So that one will go through there. So we're through now, that's good. Okay, I need to check. I'm just going to measure on here what size, where's the bottom? Just going to measure what size these pins are. They're 1mm. So that's cool. I'll just give this a quick, there we go. You can see it all becomes quite loose. Just broken that off. For God's sake, this bloody thing here is a complete and utter pain. It just wants to break all the time. There's no positive location for it whatsoever. It's awful design, absolutely awful design. So that's nice and free now. So hopefully that will dry on there. So we need a 1mm drill. So here's a 0.8, I think it is. We can just open that out. You can see these bloody things, they they kind of screw themselves into the plastic. I really don't like them. They're okay in a motor tool, but they're no good. So there's the 1mm. They're no good for hand drilling because they just screw themselves in, and the smaller ones just screw themselves in and then snap. So there we go. So I'm now going to take a, what should we use? Should we use let's use this tool here. This is like a tri tool. Just put that in there and that'll just deburr the top edge. In fact, that hasn't worked, so we'll use this little burr. Just deburr those holes. There we are. And then this gun will glue on there like so. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it off for now because basically it's going to be very, very awkward to handle with that on there. So I think there's a couple of bits and pieces we're going to add after we've primed. So there we are. Right, so that's those holes in there ready and the gun base fitted. So now I'm going to grab some, in fact I've got some VMS black here. So I'm just going to grab, get it the right way round, grab that. Here's the lower one, wasn't it? Yeah. Grab that, we'll stick some VMS black on there and we'll just stuff that in that hole. Why doesn't it want to go in? It came out, why would it go in? It's a bit crazy. There we go. I'm going to need my magnifier. Back in a minute. Okay, pushing ever further forward. As you can see, I've made this plate up now. This plate just goes on the side. I'm not exactly sure what its function is, but it literally just, it's going to go on the side. Let me grab my tweezers. It's going to sit on the side there. Okay, so it's covering up those cleaning rods. I don't exactly know what its purpose is, but there we go. You can see it's got a couple of photo etch brackets on the back. Worth noting, there are two great big ejector pin marks on here, but luckily they're raised, so you can just be sanded off. So that's good. I've also got this ring together. This is for the gun barrel. It's two parts, Y1, just back to back, just glued together. So we've done those. And as you can see, we have our baskets fitted. Now, this one's ready to go. So I can put they're all drilled and everything. I put a 0.5 piece of brass wire in there and it will act as a hinge. But if you do want to do this, there's one thing you must do. On the front here you have this, you can see this block at the front which has a notch in it, and on here there is like a pin that holds it in place. So once that goes into that block, it can't come out because it's locked in. So all we need to do is come in with our knife and just cut that away, just like so. Just cut it out so that it's no longer there, and then that should, yeah, there's still some there. I'll have to get another magnifier, I think, to see the whole thing. My eyes are really watery this morning. I hope this bloody cold isn't coming back. And I do need new glasses. I've been saying that for over a year, I think, now. So it's something I must get my ass in gear and get done, get sorted. So there we are. So that'll just notch in there now. We can clip those hinges on, and then we can take some 0.5 brass rod. I drilled these holes 0.5, so hopefully I could put these pins in and not glue them. Yeah, this is going to be awkward. Yeah, so that's a really snug fit in there. Right, so I think what we're going to have to do is get this on, like so. And then we'll get this piece of wire up into here. just want to get it to go through first. If you are doing one of these guys, I would suggest build this box up, build these up and do all this before it's attached to the turret, because I'm having to hold this really firmly to press this wire through. I could actually drill the holes out a bit bigger to make it easier, but you can see that brass has gone through there now. Or has it? No, it hasn't. Come on. This is great viewing, isn't it, guys? I expect you're loving this. Right, let me grab a pair of pliers just so I can grip this rod. There we go. So that's going to sit like that. We can have it slightly exposed so it shows like a bolt head. And then we're going to have to take a pair of cutters. You can see I'm having to be very, very careful how I handle this, because there's little bits of flimsy photo edge everywhere. Yeah, these cutters have seen better days. Oh, it's marked it enough so I can snap it off. So that's that one in. And then this one in the top. Push that in. Yeah, it's Saturday today. On Monday I'm gonna go and make an appointment, get my eyes done, get some new glasses, because I can't go on like this. This is ridiculous. Just pushing this. Oh dear. Let me get this in and cut off. I'll get it done on both sides, because you don't want to watch me do this. It's boring as anything. All right, there we go. So we have folding baskets. You can see they lock into there's little locks in here. So that would be in transport mode, travel mode, so that it can get past narrow objects, and then generally in use they would be like that, where in the open field where they don't need to be able to get through. So we've got these deflectors on here to stop branches and stuff catching on these boxes. There we are. But I haven't done it so I can play with it. I've done it for ease of painting, so it can all go together in one piece. Open it up, paint it, fold it closed. That's it. So there we are. So that's how it's going to look when it's mounted on the hull. So you can see there, and then when they fold back, you can see it makes quite a big vehicle. Okay, that's going to look great sat on the back of a tank transporter, wouldn't it? So I'm not sure what's next, and I have the box here, which is closed up, and the instructions are inside the box. So let me just get these instructions out. Mr. Unprepared as usual. Now, I think some of you know by now that I'm not going to be using the kit tracks on this model. I'm still not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but I have got the Ryfield model 3D printed tracks on order. So I'm going to wait for those to appear before I make the decision. So we've done all this, we've done all this, we've done all this. We've just done that. Now it's the gun barrel. So we've got our metal gun barrel in here somewhere in the box. Where is it? There it is. So we've got the metal gun barrel, and we've also got some 3D printed bits for the end. So that can come out of there. Alright, that's a very nice barrel. Got a nice finish on there. There's a couple of flats on it, so we need to make sure we reference those flats. So we've got 3D printed parts here, which are all open, which are all separately bagged up. Dear, dear, dear. Now this won't come out. Oh dear. Sorry guys. Right, so that can be cut off of there, so we'll just literally cut away with a knife. There we go, we just cut all that off of there, and then just gently sound to get rid of those little connector points or supports. That's that done, and then here I should get my Tamiya nippers, and we'll just come in and cut them away like so. They're already broken away actually. There's the bin. There's the bin. get rid of that. You can see how easy this stuff breaks away. There we go. That's gone in there. Just wipe away any little raised patches. What I am going to do is grab a pencil and just colour that in, and then when all the pencil disappears, I know I've got rid of all the little nubbins that are on there. And there we are. I'm just going to give it a very quick wipe over there. And there we are. So that's going to go on the end of the barrel like that, and it actually fits, which is good. This piece here is going that way round, and that's going to go down. Okay, it's got a flat on it. There we go. So it sits on that. There's a flat there, so that's going to sit on there like so, and the muzzle's going to sit on there like that. But before we do any of that, we've got these photo etch rings to go on. So they're going to go on onto there. It looks like they're going to need a bit of a clean up on the inside to make them go over. Yeah, it's a bit tight. I've already bent them, so just get that off of there. There we go. So we can get in there with something and sand that out. Just remove some of the diameter and get that fitted. Okay, so moving forward, we sanded out that ring. I've also gone over, got what's this, a 600 grit Infini sponge. Just go over and just key up the aluminium a bit, get rid of any turning marks that are on there. But it just gives a bit of a better key for the forthcoming primers and stuff. So got that brass ring to go on there. Now I'll make sure it's on there nice and parallel. Now what I'm going to do is use my knife blade again. So I've got some of the VMS XT thin. I'm just going to run that around behind this ring, just like so. And then I've got in my spares bin, I think this is an airplane tyre. Certainly looks like it, doesn't it? It's fairly close fit, so we just push that over and just run that around so that to make sure it goes on nice and parallel. And it doesn't seem to be sticking at the moment. I am having an absolute bloody nightmare trying to get this to stick, and I've also noticed another mess up I've made. If you look on here, you've got these bolt detail. Obviously the bolts need to line up front to back, and I haven't got them lining up. So what I'm going to have to do is take some of my VMS glue remove super glue remover. We use this to prevent making a mess on our cardboard. So I'm just going to put a drop of this on there. Hopefully that'll soak in and do its thing, and then I can split them and re-stick them together. But for some reason I'm having an absolute bloody nightmare getting this to getting that ring to glue on here. Could be because there's no real area for it to glue on. You know, there's no large surface or anything. But we will get there in the end, I can assure you. God, dear. Right, we got the barrel built, as you can see. Let's turn this light off a minute. We got the barrel built, as you can see, so that's all done. all nicely done. I noticed as well there is a plastic part. If you don't want to use this photo etch, there is a plastic part here, B20. You can use that one. Okay, so if I'd noticed that, I might well have used it, but too late now. All done. So so that's that done. I'm not going to fit any of these antennae, obviously, and I'm not going to fit this plate because of painting. But as you know, I've built that plate up. I showed you that just now. So now moving on to this gun lock. Again, we've got ejector pin city, so we've got 2 on each of these parts here. We've got 4 on there. So get those filled in, get those sanded out, because as I've said a million times, if you're using the lighter sand colour and you do a wash, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb. So what we need to do is just check on here, because we've got this pin on the end of this part here. This is B27. It's going to go in there, so I'm just going to check those pins are going to fit in there. This one doesn't. That end, I got the wrong end, didn't I? That's what was wrong. So yeah, those pins do fit in there. Okay, so we've got this here. It's a bit of a weird one, this one. We've got this here, and they're telling us not to glue it. All right, and they're telling us not to glue it at this end on the pin. I don't know why you would. There's nothing. They're showing here red, which means where this fits, but as you can see, it's nowhere near the same width, and it doesn't even have a pin on both sides. It only has a pin on one side, so I don't really know what on earth is going on here. But anyway, there we go. And then here with this one, this is the lower part. They're telling us to put this together and glue it, but I don't really want to glue it because I won't want to swing it open. So I think what I'm going to do is glue this end here. I want to see if I can at least because I want to display this with the gun in the transport holder. Okay, so now you can glue those ends together, and then this is going to go on here. I don't think it's all going to stay together, to be honest. And then this piece here is going to go which way up? This way up, in between the two, which it doesn't do at all. So yeah, it's a bit weird. It's really very weird. It all goes together. I don't quite understand why they're telling us not to glue one bit but glue the other end of it, because there's no point in having, unless it'll all become clear. I don't know. I'm just trying to get this to go in. This is proving to be a bit of a joke, actually. But I want, surely if you glue all this up, then I'm just thinking out loud, surely if you glue all this up, then you won't be able to get the barrel in the lock. That's what I'm thinking. What I'm trying to do is get that in there, and oh, I don't know, maybe I should let this dry. Perhaps put a little bit of a bias on it so it's sharp, so then when it dries it'll sort of spring and hold itself. I don't know, we shall see. We've got a piece of photo etch here. It's got to be bent up, so I'm just going to use my tweezers. The photo etch in here is absolutely superb in this model. So hang on, should we do the inner one first? Yeah, I think we'll do the inner one first. This inner one, you can see we've got a wide cutout. It's because they want us to put a radius in there. So I'm going to try, first of all, I'm going to try a cotton bud. See how that works. Yeah, not the best, is it? Right, so what we'll do, we will take, this is a fairly hard sponge, and we'll get a metal rod. Here we go. And what we will do, put this here, and we will roll to put a radius in that bent part there. Yeah, I need something bigger. Let me grab my drills. What have we got in here? It's the 1.6 drill. Can I push that in there? Looks like I can. Just roll it. Make sure you just stay in that recessed bit, because if you come out you'll end up putting a bend in the rest of it. That's kind of what we want, but not exactly what we want. Maybe I can just bend it around it. And then bring that up like that. Get those so they're nice and square, and that is eventually going to fit on here. Like so, on those 4 pins. Right, that's that done. I'm going to let that clamp dry. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so that mechanism is together and it's as fragile as they come. As soon as you move it, it all just falls apart. But you need to be able to move it to get the barrel in there. This is what I don't understand. They're telling us to glue it all up. As you can see here, you know, they're saying not to glue that to there, but then glue all this. I just don't get it. I can't see how you're going to get the barrel in there if it's all glued up. But it'll fall apart when I put the barrel in, then I can just put it back together when it's on. I just really don't know. Anyway, so going over the page, we've done the rear door. So we've got this. This is the rest of the barrel clamp now. So we've got these 3 parts here to go together. So I've got 4 parts. So we've got E29. We've got E27, and that's going to go on like that. Okay, and then we've got the ends to go on. So let's grab our quick setting for speed. Okay, and then we've got 26 and 28. So this one must be 28 because you can see it has a cutout where the slot is. There's a cutout above it, and on the other side it's plain. So the plain side goes in. So that's going to go like that with the angled part forward. That's going to go like that onto there. And luckily it's a nice snug fit, so it stays there on its own. We'll put some cement in there. Hold that one. Hopefully the other end will be the same. And it is. That's nice. That's all staying together. Just like that. Lovely. Right. So that's that gone together. Now this, in turn, is going to glue onto this piece here, which is E30. And that is going to go like that onto there. Just get that into position, just like so. There we go. So that is going to fit on the front of the tank. So that's good. Right. Then we've got these 2 pieces here. So we've got E34 and E35. This one must be 34 because I can see both the holes. And right, so we'll get this onto here. I may have to stop in a minute and let some of this dry because I've got a feeling it's all going to become very, very floppy. And then we'll get some glue on the brush for a start. We'll get that one onto there like that. There's my tweezers. Okay. Well, this is quite the assembly, I can tell you. It's all very, very floppy. That's why I'm using the quick setting. I'm going to get some more cement into that joint and into that joint. I've just noticed I've got a couple of ejector pin marks in there. Hopefully they won't be visible on the finished model. Can't even pick it up. Right, so that's like that. We'll check these ends are square, like so. There we are. Right, so that has to sit in here, B44. So that's going that way round. There is no up or down. So I think I want to get this in before the cement dries. Oh dear, dear, dear. This is horrible. There we go. Right. So we can put all this back into shape now. This is one of those jobs I'm going to do off camera, guys, because this is just, it doesn't want to fit together very well, and it's all very floppy, as you can see. Hang on, I may be getting somewhere now. So now we've got to pivot this up. Go back through there. Pivot that up. You can see we've got these larger holes here. Those larger pins are going to go in there. So this is one of those cases where it's extremely fiddly, extremely complex, but to make it accurate and in scale, that's how it's got to be. If they just moulded it as one lump, it would look horrible. At least they didn't do it on a photo etch, eh? That would have been fun. That's gone in there now. Right. Wow. That is some assembly, I tell you. Okay, you see how this side the pin's fatter. So that's all gone together. It's sort of squared itself up, I think. So I'll get some cement into there. Let that all cure up. Wow, that is some assembly, that is. Right, and then that in turn is going to go onto here. So that's going to sit on there like that. Yeah. Okay. What's going on here? We've got this piece here, B26, has some what on earth is going on here? So this is going that way around like that. That's that way around like that, and that's going to drop down in there. Okay, we've got these on the end there's these little shaped pieces that are going to sit in those slots. Okay, I'm going to glue it in place and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's in position. There you go. You can see how that goes. If you're building one of these and you're a little confused, then that's that. Right, and then finally we've got this piece here, which is going to go onto there. Okay, so that's going to sit on there like that. Right. This is just so fiddly. God. Right. And then this is going to go onto here. Like that. I need to top up my quick setting. That is incredibly fiddly and very, very fragile and easily breakable, I can assure you. That is quite the little assembly there. It's sitting right on the front of the tank, so I shouldn't call it a tank, should I? It's sitting right on the front, so it's going to make for a very interesting piece. So this is going this way round. That is going over the top. So now have I put that piece upside down? No, I haven't. I don't quite understand how all this is supposed to go together. So that's going to slide down. Okay, that's it like that. Right. And then we've got this piece here. And we've got to try and glue this in. So that's going that way round. We've got to try and glue this in without getting any cement on the actual pivot. That's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun. But the trouble is I can use the quick setting, but the trouble is it'll dry. It will dry before I get this bracket anywhere near it. So I think what I'll do is drop that on there like that. And then I put a drop in there and a drop in there. And hopefully it's the trouble, it's pulling itself apart. Dear. Right. Sorry guys, this is like watching paint dry, isn't it? I'm sure it is, but for those of you that want to build the model, you probably want to see me squirm so that you know that it's not just you. Wow. What an assembly. So that is going to sit on the front of the main hull like that, and it fits beautifully just like the rest of the kit. And then that if it's not in travel mode, that would swivel down, but the trouble is that's going to stop it swiveling down. Or will it just sit back like that? They don't give you the option of having it hanging down. I'm not sure. No, it does just sit back, like it sits back like that. Okay. Well, I would have thought there would be an option to have it swiveled over. So you'd have it swiveled over like that, but you're not going to be able to do it because this protrusion here is in the way. But that's incredible. So that, like I say, that's going to go on there like that. I can't hold it. That's going to sit like that, and then the barrel's got to go in there. Quite how that's going to happen, I do not know. But, I'm tempted to glue this thing here. I'm tempted to glue it to something. This piece here, which is this piece here, I'm tempted to glue it to something so that it doesn't fall out every time I move this catch. What I could do actually is glue it there. In fact, what I could do is cut the pins off and just have that moving independent of it. Because it's that, when you move this, it's that falls out. But if those pins weren't there, this could pivot and that push rod would stay where it is. As it is at the moment, you see it's locked. It's not glued in place, it's locked. Now, can I slide that barrel into there? Yes. Is that where it clamps it? No, it's not, is it? It clamps it behind here. Okay, there we are. So what we've managed to do now, let's get all this out of the way. We can have this moving, look, but just not have it connected to that. So what we need to do is get rid of those pins on there. And that way it won't try and move with it. There we go. That's what we wanted to achieve. Okay. So I'm going to get in there and squeeze that together. Ugh. So there we go. We've got that moving now. So that's the way to do it. Cut the pins off of there, off of this piece here, and then that will just move independent. And when it goes back down over the barrel, it'll fall into the right slot. So now you can put the barrel in there, and you can actually put it over properly, so it's holding the barrel properly, rather than being all sloppy. There we go. Right, we got there in the end. So what we can do now is just get in there and squeeze those together. Because I want these to be parallel. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. There we are. There we go, that's the way to do that. Right, so we leave that to dry. Now I believe we are done, because the next part of the instructions is painting. So what I want to do now is I need to get this piece. We're not going to fit the machine gun. We're not going to fit the travel lock. I need to paint the inside of that black. We need to fit this. We're not putting the ammo bins on. We're not fitting the sledgehammer. We can glue the barrel into the gun. We don't want these ammo boxes. That unit can go on as well. We don't want these straps. We don't want that ammo box, we don't want that ammo box, we don't want that shield, we don't want that ammo box or that belt. We're going to glue these mud flaps on after we've done the tracks. So yeah, that's got to be painted. That's not going on yet. We've got this little part here that's got to go on, a piece underneath the tape there that's got to go on the front of this. But for now I want to get this on, so we're just going to remove some paint from there and remove some paint from in there. That's where that locates. And then we're going to get rid of some paint from there, and we'll just scratch the top of that. So now we can get our extra thin, and we'll put a drop of extra thin in there and then quickly get this on. There we go, that's going to sit on top of there where I've just put the extra thin, and then we'll have another drop of extra thin in there, and that will lock that down. Looks like it's contacting down there as well, so I think I'll put a drop in there. Oh yeah, it's contacting all around there, look, as well. Hang on, whoa, 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 whoa. That's contacting the outer body, be careful. Careful what you're doing there, Nige. Keep bloody bending that one over there. Right. So that's that on. You can just make sure the barrel's still going to fit. There we go, the barrel's sitting in there lovely. It's not a very solid fit at all, that is it? It's just all flopping around. Not sure where else it contacts really, to be honest. It doesn't, is the answer. It doesn't contact, it's just there. And that area inside. I think I'm going to have to re-glue that inside area because it's not, what I'll do, I'll get some of the white top, just brush it along there, and then plonk this back in position. Another drop of extra thin into there. Top back on this. There we go. So, that, my friends, is that. We need to glue the barrel into the machine gun. This is going to get glued on here. So, we've got a little nubbin on the end of there. Okay, so we're going to put a drop of extra thin on there. And then got a little nubbin on there. That's going to sit, let's get it so I can see it. That's going to sit in there like that. And then there's a little plate on the top. There we go. So that's that in position. Just get it squared up. It's also fragile and flimsy. And there we are. So that, my friends, is that. Now I can't really do any more on this other than get it primed until these tracks turn up, because I want to decide what tracks I'm going to use, get the tracks built up, see how many links we need, and then position the idlers accordingly and go from there. So for now, today is in real time. It is the 1st of March 2025, and it's Saturday. Now, I'm not sure when this video is going to go out, but this Wednesday, I'm assured the tracks are coming in, so I should have the tracks by Friday. So that's a week from now. So we may get a little bit of a halt, but I can't really do anything more until I've got some tracks. Okay, so I'll see you all for part 7. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.